Hey guys, how's it going? RedMaster here, and welcome back to episode of Cards and Castles, Cast and Conflicts, where today we've got another great match lined up for you. So without dragging on this intro too long, let's go ahead and jump right into game number 1 and see what goes down. Alright folks, and welcome back to episode of Casting Conflicts. Here we've got Tweakin taking on Beastly. Of course, the Viking Druid makes an appearance against Beastly's Druid Yellow. So Battle of the Druids here, and of course we are joined by Bolas. Bolas, how you doing today?
I'm doing fine.
Now, what are your thoughts in regards to this Druid versus Druid matchup we're seeing? Any sort of immediate thoughts that you're seeing?
Let's see, Viking Druid. I'm thinking lots of companions to get like that freeze on the other side,
That is
and then
potentially true, yeah.
Crusader Druid. Honestly, I don't know.
I mean, we could be seeing maybe a global buff side of things. I mean, Crusader Druid very prevalent for dropping things like armories, fat bards in mass to create these just big, beefy units. We could be seeing that out of Beastly's side, but I feel like Beastly is not that type of player per se. I feel like he's got maybe a little something different up his sleeve there. And then we're going to see a decent priest there that'll, of course, clean up these Hassan City guards very nicely, I think.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm thinking he's gonna play Wind Mage, try to delay the units.
Coined out those
Oh,
guards.
right.
Yeah,
I can count.
Play. He could potentially swipe the rider here, go for a... Oh, alright. Or just do nothing. That's fair.
Sometimes, if you can't decide, just let the opponent decide.
That is true. So we'll see which approach Beastly takes to it. We do know Beastly is a very aggressive-ish player, so I won't be surprised if he kind of throws out, yeah, that damage for face there on the board. Maybe run the Trent up as well. Yep, followed up by a Lumberjack. I mean, we'll see a decent Wind Mage play here, I believe. I mean, that's pretty much his only play, right?
Yeah.
So Wind Mage does get dropped there onto the board here. We'll see everything gets slightly pushed back. Not enough, though, for a huge
Blacksmith.
impact. Ooh, yeah,
That is a huge buff for him.
Yeah,
it's going to be hard to recover. He's going to need to draw some freeze.
We are seeing those elements. I mean, we're seeing Beastmaster in the deck, so if he can maybe get that out and rolling.
Yeah. That should be able to turn the tides.
I think his better play here might be potentially trading off the Blacksmith with the Priest, having enough damage for Wind Mage to counteract that Trent.
Yeah.
It would sacrifice the Wind Mage, sure, but at least it cleans up most of the damage on the board here. I'm not really seeing any sort of other plays unless, what are your thoughts in regards to that?
Well, I think if he's able to survive past these few turns, Beastly's got only 2 cards in hand, so he's got a huge advantage over him.
Certainly true there.
Though the board state does not look the same.
We're going to see the Centaur get played here. I'm curious if he's going to go after the Blacksmith with this play, because that would theoretically keep the Centaur on board, which I think Tweakin definitely needs bodies out, but then again, he's facing down things like, a 4-attack Trent, a 3-attack Rider, and with the threat of companions in that hand, it's certainly scary.
Alright, he does go for the Blacksmith.
So that does alleviate the fears of the Lumberjack taking out Wind Mage. It's going to force Beastly to respond to the Wind Mage with potentially something like the Trent to take it off of face, giving Tweakin that leverage to play Beastmaster, which I think would start to turn the tides a bit more in his favor here. I mean, do you have any... I think he needs to get Beastmaster. I think that can be agreed on between both of us.
Yeah. As long as he gets the units out of his side of the board, he'll be able to rebuild.
Right.
And maybe he might have to use the Beastmaster himself, since most people don't like to do that, but he's probably going to need all the bodies he can use right now.
We are going to see both the Trent and Rider advance to castle here, really knock Tweakin down to 4 health. I assume Wind Mage gets deleted with the Lumberjack. Right, yep, there that is. And of course, the Bard does go for the trade here on Centaur, so
I don't agree with that play. I would think he want to hide his Bard just to keep his units buffed.
Right.
But we'll see.
I definitely think Beastmaster
might have thought he had the game in the bag.
The play. I think he's debating on what tile he puts it on. I definitely think maybe he can use more of the upfront position or in the middle. I mean, Beastmaster can kind of move around here. We just have to hope that he gets maybe some useful beasts. Things like Bear Hog, maybe for the Rampage. That could do a bit of cleanup work here.
I would think might want to place it in front of the Treant.
I mean, whatever it is, he needs to play it. And he does play
Yeah.
it down there. Alright, that is fair. That's actually a fair way to take down everything.
And he might not lose his Beastmaster. It's very
might
important.
not. Yeah, that's pretty important. And actually loses
There he
the
goes.
wolf,
Gets the
which
buff.
is, yeah.
That's good.
So far, we're liking Tweakin's recovery odds. He's got that Rat King to play as well.
Okay. Lore Master could be scary with a buff, but I have hope. I think Tweakin can pull through.
We'll see. I definitely like to see a Mystic Journey for that Rat King potentially, and we'll see if he's got it. I think he is, though, doing a nice job in blocking for a potential companion knockout here. We're seeing basic throughout the respect, but we know that he is. Uh-oh. This could be it.
Double ramp.
Oh, no. He
So
doesn't
close.
get it.
So close.
Oh, he's got
there he
blessing
goes.
anyway. Oh.
There he goes.
Oh, Tweakin. I mean, he did build a bit of defense back, which was nice. But ultimately, I think that damage that he took early on was the real game ender there for him.
Especially when he's not playing with life gain and he's playing against a guy with life gain.
Right. But we'll see how both players think after that match. Let's go ahead and jump to them right now. Alright, and welcome back, folks, after game number 1 here. I guess we'll start with Tweakin here, taking another loss in game number 1 here, but I would say it was fairly close for you. I mean, you built back a bit of defense with the Beastmaster, you kind of cleared board here, but ultimately the little bit of a pain in the ass known as Tarius got to you. Walk us through that game 1. Tell us what you were thinking here. Because I mean, like we said, you did look to be in the lead once you kind of made that board clear, but things kind of just surprised you at the end. But again, take us through the game perspective.
I didn't really have, I had some cards early game, but I didn't really have the cards I guess needed. I mean, yeah, I had things like Hostility Guard, I had Reanimate, but I couldn't really use Reanimate, so it was kind of like a waste of card. It was a waste of a slot. It was a waste of a card. I had to use coin because I didn't want to get a free hit. I was going to use the coin regardless, whether it was going to be next turn or the turn before. So I thought, I'll just get the coin out now, trade the 2 Hostin City guards in with the Salahard Rider. But then he played the Priest, and I was like, oh, God. So then I didn't have an answer for turn 2 because I thought that was going to be my answer. The 2 Hostin City guards were going to be my answer for the next 2 turns. So he had a free hit on face. Then he played 2 more cheaper units. Then I had to play the Wind Mage to kind of knock him back, delay. It was just a very early onslaught. Then he had the Blacksmith out, and I had a big decision to make whether to take out the Blacksmith or to take out the Treant. I think now, well, after seeing that he had a fat bard in his hand, after all that, I think it would have been beneficial for me to take out the Treant rather than the Blacksmith, because the Blacksmith wasn't posing a threat to my castle.
Right.
Because he was all the way in the back. But the global buffs, and you see the white yellow, that's going to be a global buff deck. So I just thought if I take out the Blacksmith, I'll save myself 2 HP points, and I don't know, that might be worth it somehow in the late game, or that might give me one more turn. But he played the fat bard, so it made my Centaur play just, I guess, useless because he still had the 1/1 buff. And then it was just kind of like, I really hope he doesn't draw a companion at that point. 4 health, and I know Druids, probably has a lot of companions. I'm not sure if he runs Spiny, but I know he probably runs Centaur, so I'm just like, all right, now it's just damage control, which is, it sucks for me because I have no healing. He has probably things like Arbiter. So at that point in the game, there was really no way,
battle for you,
personally, exactly.
from that
There was
point
no
on.
way I thought I could win because, one, I had to completely surround my castle at all times, while also pushing units forward.
Right.
Where he could easily just, play defensively, wait till I move 1 unit out of place, and he can play an Arbiters, or just move 1 unit up, a cheap unit, and play a Centaur. So at that point, I knew it was just writing on the wall. It was just at what turn it was going to be ended.
Right.
So it was just hard. If it was more even towards the middle, if I could have maybe had 10 HP, not 4, maybe it could have been a little different. I was getting some ground, but it was just that early game, and I heard you, not saying I'm cheating, but I heard you were talking about my Beastmaster play. About like you're saying you were wondering like where I was putting my Beastmaster.
Uh,
Yes.
yeah, that was
Yeah,
sort of like, we noticed where you were gonna put it. I mean, it also probably did depend on what you generated from it too, because you might.
yeah. So I'm thinking if I put the Beastmaster in the middle and I draw whatever I got, the wolf that was 2 attack, I wasn't going to be able to kill the tree ant, and I wouldn't even be able to reach the lumberjack
Right.
or or the or the Salahar rider at the bottom. So I figured if I place the Beastmaster one space down in the middle, whatever unit pops up top, no matter what it is, I can trade that with the lumberjack. Have the bottom unit either trade with the tree ant or the Salahar rider, and if I really need to, if I desperately need to, I can trade the Beastmaster with the tree ant.
Right.
So that's why it's like if I happen to draw 2 wolves or something like that, where it's just I just did not want to run the risk of top decking or top drawing a wolf and not being able to pretty much use it becoming essentially useless. So that's why I decided to play the Beastmaster where I did, and it
Right.
ended up working out. I saw the wolf and I was like, ha ha, I knew it. I knew it. I knew this game was gonna cuck me somehow.
But I guess going on to the other side of that, Beastly, we saw a very dominant performance out of the Crusader Druid.
My
Um,
my favorite play from your side was getting the audience to be like, what's happening? Is the second Ramrus gonna buff him? Is he gonna die? And then you play like the blessing, like, oh, he's a douche. He had it all along.
I didn't want to reveal that I had blessing in deck. I just wanted to do the Ramrus, and just cross my fingers that was going to work out, but it didn't. So I had to reveal my secret weapon
right. But
that nobody runs. But
Delayed reveal.
I
take us
hate you.
through your perspective quickly on that match.
I topped deck. I topped deck so hard through that game. You have no idea, Tweakin. I was so lucky.
You hate to hear that. You hate to hear
I,
that.
I top decked the Bard after I lost my blacksmith. I was like, oh no, this
Oh,
is going badly. And I top decked the Bard. I blundered the Bard because I was so happy to see it. I was like, okay, how do I take out Wind Mage? I should have put Bard behind Castle, hit Wind Mage with the Lumberjack, and then moved everything out of the Centaur's way, so he was just sitting there. But I was just thinking, I'm going to trade away everything. There's no way he can deal with like 3 units on face. And then you pulled out the Beastmaster, and I was like, oh shit.
yeah.
And then there's Victorious. And I was just like, oh cool. I got to
You hate to see
read it
it.
now.
In Tweakin's words, you hate to see it.
BC, you
boy.
top deck like a champ.
Coming from the guy who did it, like 2 games ago.
Yeah.
The magic of recording. Anyway, I think we
Where's
are
my
just
love?
ready to get into game number 2. Tweaking, you don't get love. You're on Casting Conflicts after all. Let's go ahead and jump into that game number 2 right now. Alright, folks, and welcome back to game number 2 here. We see Tweakin switched up into the Warlock Pirates against Druid Crusader Bolas. What are your quick thoughts on what Tweakin's got planned for
Well,
us in this game 2?
From the 2 bards and the acolyte, probably swarm. That's what I'm thinking.
Probably. I don't know if that's going to be enough, though, to counteract the deck, especially considering Beastly, like we've mentioned, is a more aggressive player. I mean, we're seeing he's already rushing a Trent there, rushing Priest, and with cards like Acolyte and Maddie, it's going to be a bit tricky for him to deal this damage. I don't like that Maddie placement. That opens up the Acolyte.
Yes, that wasn't the best placement. But though he might want to just be redirecting damage away from the castle. Well,
Potentially.
doesn't go for it either way.
Yeah, I mean, Beastly, again, just a very aggressive player who's focused on killing the castle here. He doesn't care about you, he cares about your buildings. We'll see if this pays off for him, though. Looks like we're going to see the Acolyte maybe move up to take out Priest. I would like to see that, because you, of course, generate that zombie here, and you get that to block castle. In the meantime, you have
That's
some
nice.
bodies to deal with the problem that is the Trent in the back there, and maybe cut it off of its companion spawn, like we're seeing Tweakin do there. I think that's a decent play to block off things like Centaur and Spiny.
Honestly, I think he might have wanted to use the Bard and the Maddie to take out the Treant, because he had another one to refill his hand, well, to play afterwards, and
That is true.
he just opened up to buffs.
Well, we are going to see Knight of Flowers take the more aggressive, well, take the more passive route, excuse me, and actually go for the Acolyte. Trent being buffed up to 5/6, again, that is a big body on face, which I'm not sure Tweaking, well, actually, that's a lie. He's got another Bard, so this actually might work out for him. If he can play this correctly, I think.
Okay, so first goes for the Acolyte play. Might as well just hit with a Bard.
Yeah, Bard's going to do enough for you in that regard.
Oh, you should have tried to protect with the Maddie, I think. Well, then also with the zombie.
Well, I mean, he's also one attack short
That's
with
true.
the Knight of Flowers. He'd have to give another buff. He'd have to show that in hand for that to work out. Or, I mean, he could just go Knight opens on the Maddie and then generate a Spiny and Blessing of the Trent. And that could be a whole other issue, which we actually might see.
Ooh,
There's Spiny. There's
there's Blessing.
I
Oh, wow.
I called it. I'm so sorry.
Wow.
And we are already off to a pretty rough start. I mean, listen, it's doable. It's doable that this can be cleared. We're seeing a Necromancer in hand. We can easily clean up with Matty Bard. Acolyte takes care of the Knight of Flowers, and I think we're in a good place. But we'll see what approach he takes. I definitely don't think.
I'm trying to figure out how he's
Necromancer's
going to take care of that Spiny.
a Necromancer. It's a 5/5.
That's true, yeah.
With Bard, you
But
have more,
he's
and that's
not
not the
playing
play.
it.
That's not the God.
And I'm confused
You
again.
had one job, Tweakin. You had one job to play the. I swear. I mean, this is gonna be rough.
Oh, there's the oops.
Yep, there is the oops.
Uh-oh.
So we're gonna see a lot of unfavorable trades here for Tweakin as a result of trying to stay alive. Do not. Oh.
No.
My
No.
God, Tweakin. No. I'm trying to be unbiased, but there is just that was the wrong plays, and now we could potentially see Centaur to clear the game. Nope. Okay, Lore Master. All right, he's still in it. Still in it.
There you go.
I mean, this is really not good, considering that you need to essentially, block off how many
He
tiles?
has to block out center square, so he's probably going to go for Necromancer just to buff it up some
He
more.
has to.
And
Do
then,
not
oh,
put
yep,
the-
there.
No.
That kind of works. He's just going to have to kill two things
Kind
now.
of, but also like it's so infuriating.
It'd be better if you play that Necromancer.
It's so infuriating because there are a whole lot of better opportunities for him to play things like this.
Lots of people forget that Necromancer is just such a solid 5/5.
Right, it's a unit, and then we're gonna see the game. There's the game. Claire clears the game. Yep, Claire clears the altar, and Tarius clears the game.
Oof.
That was rough to watch. That is honestly like there isn't really a way to determine that that match should have gone differently if we had saw some different plays here. But I'm definitely curious as to the mentality behind some of the plays that we saw Tweakin make, especially in the later portions of that match.
Yeah.
So what do you say we go over to both of them?
Alrighty.
All right, let's go on.
No top
Let's
deck.
Alright,
just give Beasley top deck potential over here. I'm over here struggling.
To after game number 2 here. A bit of a rough scenario for Tweakin in that second outing. I mean, we saw the draws. We saw Darkness. We saw Rakanoth. But I do want to raise a bit more of a discussion on this one. Looking at some of the plays here, I was personally pretty vocal about some things that you made here. But let's go ahead. I want to get your perspective here. I guess towards the match, because I mean we saw pretty much a near perfect copy of what happened in game number 1. So take us through what happened.
Yeah, I mean, if you saw game 1, you just saw it again. I mean, did we even really have a game 2? I'm not even sure if we did. It was. Yeah, I got rushed down my throat, and then the game ended with fucking Tarius again.
Tarius is the MVP.
Yeah, I saw Tarius make his way out, and I'm like, screw it. I'm just gonna block him. I'll waste this unholy altar. I'm just gonna block his path. Double zombies, take up the 2 middle spaces, and then just throw the altar right there. Have him deal with it. I'll waste the altar. But of course he had just a bunch of cheap units. The cleric, the lumberjack that I never saw, that maybe I never will see. I don't think I saw a lumberjack in both our games.
Oh no.
Lumberjack.
Did I? Wait. Yeah, I didn't draw a lumberjack, and I don't
Yeah,
think I
you
draw
did.
a
You didn't
lumberjack in our
either
piece.
game.
In our first game.
No, you didn't.
Well, man. Oh, well, there we go.
I guess going back on your points, Tweakin, there was a big part in the matchup where we saw.
Yeah, let me have it.
A blessing spiny on face, right? Followed up by the books in the back, and we noticed you held the necromancer. Tell us why you held the necromancer.
You know what? I really don't know. I really don't know. Maybe I just didn't see it. What was the play was I supposed to make? I was just in my head.
We noticed.
Well,
that
I know it's
you would've been able to
was I supposed to trade the? Was I supposed to trade the treant? Well, was I supposed to hit the treant with the one I'm manning, trade the necromancer with the treant, and then hit the?
No, the treant
books
wasn't even involved in the equation.
Or I mean the spiny.
No,
Not
you
the
had
treant,
enough.
but the spine.
The problem was you had enough to take out the spiny with the necromancer on the turn, and have
You
enough
sacrificed
to
too many units.
push the bard to kill the book. You still would have lost the bard regardless, but you could have saved both the Maddie and the and the black for later use, and still kept necromancer on face, mind you, considering that you would have survived by 1. So we were just.
I don't remember what units I had on the board. Would I be able to kill the books? Did I have the blacksmith down? I thought I had to play the blacksmith.
Yeah, the treant and the books weren't a threat. Because I was really stupid and I left them too far out.
Right.
But was the blacksmith already out with the bard? Was it already a 3/3? Was the bard already a 3/3?
I think you played him on that turn instead of
the blacksmith.
Yeah. Instead of the necromancer.
So I wouldn't have been able to kill
Hold
the
on.
books.
Let me go back here because I'm gonna whip this up. In the meantime, Bolas, take us through as I whip up my file explorer on camera. Fantastic.
Ooh, what you looking up?
Oh, let's
I'm gonna watch that back quick because I really want to figure this out. But in the meantime, Beastly, take us through, I guess, your portions of it. I mean, we saw a near repeat of the game here, but again, just let us know your thoughts.
I have a very unhealthy tendency to hit face when it's not healthy for my units. Because I just hitting face, I guess, and then just crossing my fingers and praying for a range unit to finish it off when I don't have anything. But yeah, that's just how I play the game, I guess.
Right.
Well, Beasley, I think you're the only person who doesn't shove Tarius in a corner. Make him work. And then...
Yeah, he's got to earn his keep there. He draws me my companions, and then I hit face with him and hit face with the companions, and it's a nice little combo.
It's a strange but very effective strategy, as we've seen.
I have found so many strange things that work in my explorations of Mono Beast Rush, and now I'm applying it all into this because just with Mono Beast you run out of cards so quickly, and with Crusader Beast it's perfect. It's just this balanced. You rush, and then you take your time, you get your cards, and you just keep this stream going.
So what would you say would be like weaknesses to your deck that you didn't see Tweakin play at all?
I have a tendency to, if they have Dragonfire, I just die. That's it.
Oh, I had three copies of that.
Oh.
I had three copies of that bad boy. I had three copies of them.
Where were they? Question mark.
Yeah. Oh, they were the last three cards of my deck.
Oh, very cool. But yeah, Dragonfire is devastating to my deck because it's a bunch of smaller units.
And
yeah.
would you say freeze?
Freeze not so much because I just the only type of freeze is my worst. Red already knows this very well, but I don't like freezing. I do not like it, especially when you put one down and then I meant to kill it, and then you put another one down exactly where it was before, and then you lightning blade.
That's a common strategy.
That's called PTSD for him.
It's not
Also,
a
actually, I'm sorry, were you in the middle of something?
No, go ahead.
Because I was just going to mention, Tweakin, I finalized the footage. You would have been able to clear the board by putting Maddie and Bard into books and keeping Necromancer to kill the Spiny, which is what I wanted to
Okay,
see.
that's what I thought. Yeah.
I mean, it still would have been a loss, but you would have kept a global buff in the form of Necromancer, and then you would have kept the Blacksmith for later use. But I mean,
the video would have lasted 30 seconds longer. I'm sorry.
it's better for me that way, bro. It's more content for me. You know this.
Why is this casting complex 10 minutes long?
It's just like, oh, wait, it's a lunchback.
Alright, but yeah, overall, boys, two solid more matches, and of course, Beastly pulls his first win. Beastly has a field to do so in casting complex. I'd like to get some.
I've lost all my hopes of going for the bottom. I guess I've just got to switch directions and go for the top now. I don't know what to do with myself.
Big words.
It's mine. It's mine.
You have secured.
It's mine. I've already been paying rent the past month.
There you go.
Alright, guys, and with that, let's go ahead and throw it out to my future self to close out the video. With that being said, folks, I hope you did enjoy this edition of Casting Conflicts. Let us know what you thought down in the comments section below. And while you're down there, if you haven't done so already, be sure to like the video if you enjoyed it, share with friends, of course, subscribe if you're new or haven't already done so. It's the best way to support us here on the channel, just by showing that you subscribed, you help us grow and whatnot, and we really appreciate that. But with that being said, that's going to do it for me for now. So until next time, guys, stay gaming.